Susanna had just written to the Blessed is She devotion writers and just was kind of saying, I'm praying for you this Holy Week, and said something to the effect of, even if you've had a Lent that you feel like you haven't done well or hasn't been as fruitful as you had hoped, or just has been discouraging in any way, I'm going to say it in my words. Susanna said it really beautifully, but basically just enter into the church's liturgy and you will get to receive the graces and be in the current of what the church is doing and not have to do anything. And you will have lived Lent beautifully. And that was just so consoling to me, to, first of all, just at a time in my life where it is really hard to have my set aside prayer time and it be really dedicated with just the chaos of my life right now. And I was just talking to a friend last week and said, I'm having a really hard time praying. And I'm starting to feel resentful towards the Lord. Like, I'm trying to pray and to have personal, intimate prayer time, but I'm being pulled away by my vocation. And it started to feel resentful. Like, I was like, Lord, you can't even give me this. Like, you can't even give me 5 minutes of silence to be with you and to connect with you. Anyway, so this friend just encouraged me to go to Mass. Like, that is what liturgy and our church is for, is to continue to be that stream that we just get to enter into when we can't drum any of it up ourselves, which we never really can. Everything about prayer is a response to Jesus and his heart and love for us, to just be able to enter into these liturgies and to receive what God has to give and not have to work for it at all.
I think, was it Liz Kelly who used the language of let the liturgy carry us?
Love.
Yeah. That is it. We kind of get in the stream, we get in the current. I love that. I feel that, Yeah. So just for fun, the Holy Triduum includes Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and the Easter Vigil. So that's the beginning of the Easter celebration. And something so beautiful, it's also called the Paschal Triduum. You might have heard it called the Easter Triduum. These are all the same things. It's 3 liturgies, 3 services that actually comprise one Mass. It's only one Mass. So when the priest processes in on Holy Thursday, we make the sign of the cross and do the opening prayers. Now, if you were to go to the veneration of the cross, the Good Friday liturgy, there's no sign of the cross. There's no opening prayer. You'll notice the priest processes in and lays down, and the liturgy continues. It doesn't start, it continues, because we're actually still in the one Mass that began last night. Isn't that cool? And then there's no final blessing in the Good Friday liturgy because it's a continuation into the Easter Vigil. So it's the fullness of the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus over these 3 days, these 3 different liturgies that are actually just one Mass. So Steph mentioned this in the comments that there's no consecration of the Eucharist on Good Friday, but Jesus has been reserved in the tabernacle. He's been reposed in the tabernacle, which is, we spent time with him in the Garden of Repose, which is usually an adoration space separate from your adoration chapel and outside of the church. We're going into the garden with Jesus, following the Last Supper. In fact, I was looking at a bunch of different church websites. You'll sometimes hear different names for these liturgies. So the Mass of the Last Supper, the Mass of the Lord's Supper, the liturgy of the Lord's Supper is Thursday. I think most Catholics call it foot washing. The foot washing is on Holy Thursday. And then stations are not a part of the liturgy. They're a private devotion, but widely celebrated in the church and encouraged, particularly on Good Friday. The liturgy portion of the Holy Triduum on Good Friday includes reception of the Eucharist, consecrated at the one Mass that began the night before on Holy Thursday, and a veneration of the cross. They process out, and it's culminated in the celebration of the Lord's resurrection at the Easter Vigil.
Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with us.
We love praying with you, and we want to do that some more. So hit the subscribe button, like this video, and turn on your notifications bell. Bing!